Hello and welcome to another edition of the wonderful world of old sheet music. I'm your host, Nicholas Carroll. Tonight we are looking at Somersaults. This is a piano solo by Dorothy Gaynor Blake. It is a sheet music this time and it's not a booklet. You can see the clowns. I guess he's supposed to be doing a somersault. I mean, he's more like jumping off of a seesaw. And this is an educational piece. Clearly, it's not a Tin Pan Alley piece. It's more of this was written to be instructional. You can tell by the difficulty level and, of course, the theme in the picture, though I guess I can't say that. There are some that were kind of silly seeming that really weren't trivial, like this seems to be. We do have a bio here on the back of the composer, which is nice because there really isn't much about her I could find. But this tells us exceptionally interesting work by Dorothy Gaynor Blake. Dorothy Gaynor Blake is one of the most interesting of young American composers gifted by nature. She inherited from her mother those sounds principles of pedagogy which are today the standards in the musical training of the young. And I will put this here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the dark as well, but they do have today hyphenated, to-day, which is a little strange, I think. At the age of 4, she read music, played the piano, and improvised original melodies. Abandoning a concert career, Mrs. Blake turned to composing, determined to carry out and extend her ideals which have become traditional. Her first published work, Melody Book, is one of the most successful beginner's book in circulation. That is, I'll say, an exaggeration. Never heard of it, and I know a lot about piano methods. This is copyright 1926, and I'm going to take a moment to go to that, but John Thompson methods were published in 1910, and I still know about those. So I've never heard of this composer or the Melody Book. So a little bit of a overstatement here to say it's the most successful beginner's book in all circulation. It was recently transcribed for Chinese class instruction in missions. So I'm assuming that's probably some type of Christian conservative missionaries were using the Melody Book in China in the 20s. Other books have followed from time to time, each carrying out some progressive plan for the advancement of music. Enjoy this and other solos by Dorothy Gaynor Blake. And the other examples they give us are the Bird Bath, the Galloping Huntsman, and Hippity Hop. So, Somersault. This one does seem a little more unique and creative. Like, we got the Galloping Huntsman, of course. There's a Robert Schumann piece already called The Wild Horseman. It's for children. It's basically, I mean, you can't see the notes, and you may not be familiar with that piece, but it is very similar. So not terribly original. And Hippity Hop, I think, is probably more on the creative side than the Galloping Huntsman or the Bird's Bath. There's another famous piece about Bird Bath, too, but that's besides the point. Somersaults, though, I think is a little more interesting. It's more original, I guess you could say, than the other ones that they're saying. The interesting thing about this particular one that I have is clearly somebody did learn this at some point. We have every single measure is numbered by somebody in pencil and handwriting here. And they amusingly, and I don't know if you'll be able to appreciate this, well, you can kind of see it there. They clearly, the child or the teacher or whoever, originally numbered them all incorrectly by one number on the measure, so they have it scratched out new one, scratched out new one, scratched out new one. They didn't erase them. They scratched every single one out and rewrote all the numbers the whole way through, all the way up through 98. So somebody was being diligent about practicing and being sure to write in the measure numbers correctly. So I think that's cute / funny. Anyway, I'm going to play it for you here next. We'll see what it sounds like. So there you have Somersaults by Dorothy Gaynor Blake. Clearly, I was assuming that the method, the technique they were trying to teach the student in this piece was going to be cross-hand arpeggio, since that's kind of like going like this. But it seemed like that was only on one section of the song, which was only a little bit, maybe like the third page. The other thing I think was interesting that would be definitely different today in an educational piece, and especially, is this is actually 5 full pages, even though the same section is repeated 3 times. So in a modern piece, they probably would have made it 2 pages long, done a repeat on the whole section, maybe a DC Alfine to teach that term to the student as well. But in this, for whatever reason, they decided to print it all out instead of using a repeat sign or anything like that. So that was interesting. But I do think it sounded kind of humoresque, like, you know, kind of fit the name, that it sounded kind of silly, playful. So I'll give credit there for that it does seem to fit the title. So that is Somersaults. Like I said before, it is 1926. This was published by Willis Music, Cincinnati, Ohio. That is still a publisher that exists today. Back then, it was 60 cents. So probably $6 or so nowadays. Hope you enjoyed.